Hi everyone, today I'm gonna show you all of my color book pages I've made for the month of October. I've colored 20 pages, it's a lot for me, I'm so happy. I've colored spooky pages, Halloween pages, Harry Potter pages. I followed a lot of different challenges from different colorists and I was so happy because I've colored a lot. So I'm gonna start with my Imagimorphia. You know I color every month in this book, and I've colored, of course, a double spread. I've colored the pages with the snails, and I changed the snails in zombie snails. I'm so happy with the result. So for the background I used watercolor. As a first layer for the snails and the houses I've used watercolor also, and then I've put some shadows with Prismacolor Premier. I've used oil pastel for like the spirit here. So it's an oil pastel from Sennelier. I've used black ink for the grass and a little bit of Jelly Roll and a little bit of Chroma Flow pencils, like the white and the black Chroma Flow, they are so perfect, and a little bit maybe of Lumocolor pencils also. So that's it for this double spread, and I was so happy to add some blood. It was so fun. So I'm gonna show you like that. If you see some glitters, it's because of the double spread here. All of the glitters from the watercolor from Sennelier, it goes everywhere. It's a nightmare. So all of my snails have glitters, but I don't mind. And I really like this double spread like this because at the first sight it was very difficult to try to have a cool theme for this double spread, and I finally found a horror theme like this, and it was so fun to do. So I'm so happy with this one. And for next month, for the month of November, I will color this one, the eagle, with acrylic paint. And I will hide every doodle with acrylic paint. And maybe for the eagle I will use Prismacolor Premier. I'm not sure for now. Next, I've colored in my Halloween from Jasmine Beckett-Griffith. I color in this one every October. So I've colored the ghost of the pumpkin patch. I decided to hide the dress. So for the sky it is Neo Color 2s. For the grass it is acrylic paint, PBO Liquitex acrylic paint, and for the head, the arms, and for the pumpkins it is Holbein pencils. I used a yellow fluorescent for the skin. I hope you will see there's some yellow, and I've completely hidden the dress with acrylic paint, and I added a little bit of interference paint. It's a really cheap paint we have in our action shops, and so it is a little bit blue with a little bit glitters like this, and I'm really happy. I hope you see it is a ghost. I've added the grass here. It was a normal dress before, and I've decided to completely hide the dress. So that's it for this page. You know, I have received the newest book from Coloria, The Coloring Adventures, and I've decided to color a portrait, and I did the geisha. For the background it is watercolor. I've used a lot of different blends for the background. As a first layer, yes, I've used alcohol markers, and then I've colored with Brutfuner pencils, the 180 set, I think. Yes, it's this one. I've used a little bit of stickles and a little bit of Jelly Roll. I tried to make like if it was makeup. So here I hope you will see here. It's a little, you can see a little bit of her real skin, as if it was a makeup. So here it is a little bit beige, a beige color, like the skin color. It was very difficult because the paper is really smooth, and it's really difficult. So it's only brut runner for the skin. I'm so happy with the result. And for the hair, I tried to do gray hair. I didn't want to make black hair, so I'm happy with this. And that's it for this page. I'm so happy with this one. Next, I've colored in my Witch's Cottage book from Hannah Curzon, and I've colored this page entirely with gouache. It was the first time I've used it's like the Himi gouache, but it's not Himi. It is Art and Soul. So I have 18 color, I think, and it was the first time I've used this kind of gouache. It was not the first time I used gouache, but this kind of gouache, in the palette. And it is really pigmented, and I tried to make a Patronus effect because I followed a challenge, a Harry Potter challenge, and it is a tutorial from one of my friends. She's a very good colorist. I will put the link of her tutorial in the description box. Even if you don't understand French, it is really easy to do. She does this with gouache paint, and it's really amazing. It is really easy. So I've used the gouache paint, and then I've used a little bit of oil pastel, white oil pastel from Sennelier. I added a little bit of stickles, a little bit of different glitters, and white ink with a brush, and that's it. I'm so happy. It was the first time I've made a Patronus effect, and I'm so happy with this. Then I've colored in my Botanicum from Maria Troll, and I've colored a little dragon. So for the background, it is an Inktense block. For the dragon, it is my Winsor & Newton pencils, colored pencils, and I've added a little bit of watercolor interference maybe, and that's it. It was a really little dragon, but it's done. Then I've colored in a lot of different Harry Potter color books. In my Fantastic Beasts, I've colored a page, and I've colored this one. I've used watercolor pencils like Albrecht Dürer Goldfaber Aqua pencils, and I've used a lot of really cheap markers, acrylic markers, metallic markers. There are some glitter gel pens, and for the background it is soft pastels from Koh-i-Noor. These are really smooth. You have an entire set of brown shades and another entire set of gray shades, and these are really perfect. I use beauty blenders with my Koh-i-Noor soft pastels, and it's the result like this. Really smooth. That's it for this one. I'm really happy because it's not an easy book. This one is really difficult. And then I've colored in my watercolor books from Harry Potter. So I've colored this one. I made a little mistake. You cannot really see it. With the orange color, I was not supposed to color so far, but it's okay. So I've colored this one, and for the second volume I've colored 3 watercolors. I've colored Piquet. It was a little bit difficult, but I'm really happy with the result. I learned a lot with this book. I really recommend you this book. Here is Arnold, and I've colored the Mandragora. This one was the most difficult, but I'm still happy. And you have to use watercolor and fine liner, and sometimes a jelly roll. It's really cool to do. I was so happy with this book. Then I've colored in my Amazon printed books. I've colored a page in my Mystic Misfit from Wednesday. This is one of my favorite books. I've colored this page with watercolor for the background. There is a first layer of alcohol markers for the skeleton, and I've used studio pencils. These pencils, the studio colored pencils, These ones are really dry. I really do not recommend you these pencils, but I have them, I use them, and I really like them with a first layer with alcohol markers. When you have dry pencils, you can use alcohol markers, and then you can use your colored pencils, and these are okay like this. I added a little bit of blood. This is one of my favorite little book. I hope to finish this book next year. I really like the art of White Stag, and a page like this, it's like half an hour and that's it. Then I've colored in my Spooky Girl book, and I've colored 2 pages. I've colored this one with alcohol markers, and then I've colored the shadows with watercolor. I used pearlescent watercolor for the hair, fluorescent watercolor for the ghosts. I added a lot of glitters, and I wanted this page like Santa Muerte. It was really, really cool to do. I'm so happy with this book. And I've colored 26 pages in this one. And this page, it was like a test page. It's not really beautiful, but I really don't mind. I've used the watercolor I've made myself. So the pearlescent watercolor is from a makeup pigment, and I used a binder I've made myself. For the characters, there is a first layer of alcohol markers, and I used the Derwent charcoal pencils to add some shadows. I've added a little bit of glitters. There is black ink for the grass. For the moon, it is my PBO Prism and PBO Moon. These are paint with effects, and I really like this paint. So I used 2 different colors. It was really a test page, and I was so happy with this one. And for the watercolor I've made, I've used some fixative, but I still have some glitters on my fingers if I do like this. But it's still okay because I use punched pockets. A lot of people ask me what I use. These are punched pockets, and I remove the holes, and then you can insert your page like this. Finally, for my Disney pages, I've colored 1 bookmark, and these are all color by number pages in my Hatchet Rose books. So for the bookmark, it was in my Mickey & Co. I only have this one, and I've colored only with watercolor because the characters are so teeny tiny. I didn't even color them, and I used some glitters, some glitter gel pens, some stickers, and some paper. These comes from my shop Action. And for my color book pages, in my Mickey Donald & Co. I've colored this one with watercolor pencils for the background, and my Staedtler markers and Super Tips markers. I always use the same material for my color book pages. The tome 6, yeah, from Disney, the tome 6. I've colored this page again with markers, and I've colored this one with markers and watercolor pencils for the sky. For the second volume, I've colored 2 pages again. I've colored this one only with markers, and I've colored this one with markers and pearlescent watercolor for the sky. It shines a little bit. And then for this one is my favorite, and I'm currently coloring in this book. I've colored this page with my Staedtler and Super Tips markers, and that's it for all of my color book pages for the month of October. I was so happy to color again and to share with you my passion, because it is a big passion for me. I hope you liked my video, and see you soon. Bye bye.